It's inescapable these days, right?
Yeah.
It feels like it's everywhere you turn, everyone's talking about it.
Definitely.
But for businesses, it's like, okay, how do we actually use this?
Right.
How does this impact our bottom line?
Yeah.
And that's where I think this company, AI Compass, that we're diving into today is interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're positioning themselves as the guide, right? They're the ones to help you navigate the AI world, which, I mean, look, if you're a business owner and you're not at least a little bit worried about AI,
Right, absolutely.
like, am I already behind? That FOMO is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they actually even say that on their website, which is our main source for this deep dive today. AI Compass's own website.
And that's one thing I found interesting looking through their materials is that they really seem to get it,
Get what?
Like, they understand it's not enough to just say, we do AI. Everyone and their brother is saying that these days,
True.
If you actually look at, say, their Why Choose Us page, yeah, they talk about personalized solutions, being ROI focused, all the buzzwords are there.
Sure.
But it's the way they explain it that caught my eye. They've actually, and this is clever, they've developed this whole system for mapping a business's processes.
Right.
Like, what are you actually doing day to day onto AI capabilities?
So it's not just like, here's AI, go figure it out. It's, we're going to figure out your business.
And it's tailoring. It's like custom AI tailoring instead of just off-the-rack solutions.
Interesting.
And I think that ties into this other thing they emphasize, which is making AI accessible. Because let's face it, most business owners, they're not data scientists. They're not coders. They need that bridge between this complex tech and, okay, but how does it sell more widgets for me?
Right. And I was going to say, even with all the hype, the stats they said on adoption are still kind of surprising. Like 35% of SMBs are using AI.
Which on the one hand, you're like, wow, that's higher than I thought.
It feels high.
But then you flip it, right? That means 65% aren't.
Yeah, that's a lot of businesses on the sidelines still.
And that's where those other stats they give about the impact of AI get really interesting. They talk about a 50% increase in process efficiency.
Okay, so things get done faster. That makes sense.
Sure. But then imagine telling a business owner, hey, we could potentially cut your operational costs by 30%. 30%.
All right, now you've got their attention.
Suddenly, AI isn't just a tech experiment. It's a potential lifeline for their bottom line.
No kidding. That's huge.
And that actually, I think, leads perfectly into talking about future.
Oh, yeah, their AI agent.
This is where they go from, hey, we'll help you understand AI to, here's a superpowered AI assistant to use.
Okay, so tell me more about future, because this is what everyone wants to know about, right? Like, what can it actually do?
Well, for starters, they're claiming a 0.7-second response time.
Wait, seriously?
Which, if you think about your own experiences with chatbots or customer service calls, it's unheard of, right?
It's instant.
It's instant.
Most of the time, I'm waiting for like 5 minutes on hold.
Exactly. And what's really impressive is it's not just fast. It's designed to handle the messiness of how humans actually talk.
So it's not just like pre-programmed responses. It can actually adapt.
Yeah, adapt and keep up with a real back-and-forth conversation.
Even with like interruptions and stuff. Because that's the thing I always think about with like chatbots, It's
like you almost have to talk like a robot to get it to understand you.
Exactly.
But this is where they're saying, no, this is designed for real human interaction.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Because if you think about those times you've been stuck on hold or transferred 5 times, like that's what...
Frustrating.
The worst. And that's what they're trying to eliminate with future.
That friction, exactly. You want that customer experience to be smooth, whether it's a human or AI on the other end.
So smoother customer experience, which, I mean, for businesses, hopefully that translates to more sales, right?
That's the goal. And it's smart how they've framed this whole thing, because it's not just AI is cool. It's here's how it actually impacts your bottom line.
And not just on their website, by the way. They're integrating future into all sorts of things.
Yeah, they talked about phone systems, social media, even WhatsApp.
Which makes sense, right? Because that's where customers are. So
help them where they are.
Exactly. Yeah. With this consistent AI-powered support, it's pretty clever.
It is. It's tapping into this whole omni-channel customer service trend.
Right.
But what I appreciated, and this is key, I think, is that even with all this emphasis on, cutting-edge tech, AI Compass doesn't shy away from the human element.
Right. I was just going to say they have this line buried in their blog, which, by the way, their blog is actually worth a read. I was impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But they say AI is not a silver bullet.
Which is true.
It's true. And then they go on to say, and I love this, heart over hardware, people over platforms.
I mean, It's refreshing, honestly, because you're right. There's this whole like AI is going to solve everything mentality out there.
Oh, for sure.
And they're like, hold on. You still need the strategy. You need the people.
The humans.
The humans. And you need to be realistic about what AI can and can't do.
It's like, yeah, get excited about AI, but don't like throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know?
Right, exactly. It's finding that synergy.
The human element is still there.
Human intelligence and artificial intelligence working together.
Yeah, and that actually, speaking of the human element, it reminded me of this quote that AI Compass has on their website. It's from Ray Kurzweil.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's like a futurist. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
But he said, artificial intelligence will reach human levels by around 2029.
See, that's one of those that makes you go,
Right.
like that's not that far off.
It's right around the corner.
It really is. And it makes you wonder if we're ready, you know?
Exactly. And like, what does it mean for businesses that aren't paying attention right now?
Yeah, it's almost like, are they willingly getting left behind at this point?
It feels like, I mean, you could almost compare it to like back in the early days of the internet.
Oh, totally.
The businesses that embraced it, they figured it out, they thrived. And the ones that were like, nah, it's a fad.
They left in the dust.
Exactly. So, I don't know. It's a lot to think about, which I guess is the point of these deep dives, right?
Absolutely.
But I think what's interesting with AI Compass is they're not just saying AI is going to take over the world. They're really trying to like demystify it.
Yeah, make it practical.
For businesses especially, which is, I think, really valuable.
It is. And what I like is they're not making these outlandish promises. It's not like use our AI and become a billionaire overnight. It's more like, hey, this is powerful stuff. It's here to stay. Let us help you make sense of it.
Yeah. And on that note, I think that's a good place to leave it for this deep dive.
Yeah, a lot to process.
But I'm curious, for everyone listening, how do you see AI shaping your business, your industry, your life even? Are you embracing it? Are you a little scared? Hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think, because clearly this conversation is just getting started.
Oh, for sure.